President Biden, the European Union, and the United Kingdom all logged new and harsh sanctions against Russia today as the Russian parliament authorized Vladimir Putin to further invade Ukraine. It was an active and urgent day from Ukraine to Moscow and wider Europe and to Washington. Nick Schifrin again starts our coverage.
Along the line that separates Ukrainian troops from Russian-backed separatists, the war has already entered residents' living rooms. This woman's house was attacked yesterday. People here fear the worst is yet to come.
I am very worried. From this situation, we cannot expect anything good to happen.
Nothing good from the troops that Russians listening to music in their cars are increasingly posting on social media. Near the border with Ukraine, Russian convoys are on the move. Some vehicles are marked with insignia like a Z and a square. These are prisoner transport trucks. Experts say they're likely to be used to occupy cities.
This is the beginning of a Russian invasion of Ukraine.
At the White House, President Biden announced new sanctions in response to yesterday's announcement by Vladimir Putin to recognize the independence of Donetsk and Luhansk, partially controlled by Russian-backed separatists since 2014. Biden imposed sanctions on the Russian state banks VEB and PSB, which is focused on defense, Russians close to Putin, and restricted dealings with Russia's sovereign debt.
That means we've cut off Russia's government from Western financing. Russia will pay an even steeper price if it continues its aggression, including additional sanctions.
The American sanctions synced with Allied punishment. German Chancellor Olaf Scholz further suspended Nord Stream 2, the Russian-German gas pipeline that had previously been a government priority.
It is now up to the international community to react to these one-sided, incomprehensible, and unjustified actions by the Russian president in close cooperation, well-coordinated, and targeted.
The European Union sanctioned Russian lawmakers who recognized separatist republics, banned trade with those republics, and limited Russian access to European banks. Josep Borrell is the EU's top foreign policy official.
We are strongly united in this front.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
In London, Prime Minister Boris Johnson announced British sanctions on 5 Russian banks, as well as individuals who have close links with Vladimir Putin.
This is the first tranche, the first barrage of what we are prepared to do. And we hold further sanctions at readiness to be deployed alongside the United States and the European Union if the situation escalates still further.
The West fears, and Russia is signaling that escalation. Today, the upper house of parliament voted 170-0 to authorize Russian forces to deploy, quote, abroad, which Putin, for now, described as the republics he'd just declared independent.
In these treaties with both Donetsk People's Republic and Luhansk People's Republic, there are articles about us providing those republics help, including military help.
In Kyiv today, Ukraine tried to stand by its partners. President Volodymyr Zelensky met his Estonian counterpart and warned Ukraine could break off diplomatic ties with Russia. But despite the massing of the largest force Europe has seen in 70 years, Zelensky repeated his disagreement with dire U.S. assessments.
We believe that there will be no war. There will be no powerful war against Ukraine, and there will be no wide escalation by the Russian Federation. If there is, then martial law will be introduced.
But the U.S. is concerned war in Ukraine could spread into NATO. So the Pentagon today is moving more Army soldiers currently in Italy to the Baltics, and F-35s and helicopter squadrons to across the eastern flank. And Secretary of State Antony Blinken canceled an upcoming meeting with his Russian counterpart and will instead consult with allies. The U.S. remains convinced that Russian troops could launch a larger invasion at any minute. For the PBS NewsHour, I'm Nick Schifrin.